Let's look at how to divide fractions. To divide fractions, you really just multiply them. Again, there's two easy steps. The first one sounds crazy. It's called same, change, flip. It's a process that you'll follow every time you see division, which changes it to multiplication. Again, that's how we say you really just multiply the fractions. When we say same, change, flip, that means you keep the first number the same, you change your sign from division to multiplication, and you flip the second fraction. The second step is to multiply across and follow the same steps for multiplying that you did in the previous slides. When you flip a fraction, it's called a reciprocal. When you multiply by a reciprocal, you always get the answer of 1. I will show you why you can multiply fractions instead of dividing them during our teacher talk. All right, let's get started. Let's try a few of these together. Again, you are going to do same, change, flip when you see a division of fractions. So for number 1, I'm going to keep the first fraction the same. I'm going to change my sign, and I'm going to flip the second fraction. Instead of 1/5, I'm going to make it 5/1. And now I'm just multiplying like I did in the previous slides. So I look to see if I can cross cancel. I cannot cross cancel in either direction, which means I multiply straight across. 2 times 5 is 10. 6 times 1 is 6. That is an improper fraction, and my fraction must be in simplest form. So if I do 10 divided by 6, it goes in 1 time. I have 4 left. 1 and 4, 6. Remember, I told you that sometimes this fraction can be simplified. 4/6 is not in simplest form. I can divide both of them by 2 and make it 1 and 2/3. That is my final answer. Look at number 2. Again, we're going to do same, change, flip. I'm going to write SCF above each of the numbers in the problem. The first one I'm going to keep the same, but if you notice, it's an improper fraction. And I told you in the previous video we cannot work with improper or mixed numbers. We have to turn it to an improper fraction. So I'm going to go ahead and do 3 times 4 is 12 plus 1 is 13. The denominator stays the same. That's the fraction I will keep the same. I'm going to change my sign, and I'm going to flip the second fraction, but it's not a fraction. We know that we have to put whole numbers over 1. So now I can flip 3/1 to 1/3. Now that it's multiplication, I look to see if I can cross cancel. I cannot cross cancel in either direction again, so I go ahead, multiply straight across. 13/12. Again, that is an improper fraction. I need to do 13 divided by 12. Goes in 1 time. I have 1 left. 1 and 1/12. That is my final answer, and 1/12 is in simplest form. Okay, look at number 3. Again, same, change, flip. The first fraction stays the same. The division sign becomes multiplication, and I flip the second fraction. We call that, again, a reciprocal. I look to see if I can cross cancel, and in this case I can. 2 is a factor of 2, and 2 is a factor of 6. So I know that I can divide both of them by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Again, when you're cross-canceling, you're taking the numbers and making them smaller. You're simplifying them to smaller numbers. Now I'm ready to multiply across. I have 21/2. That as well is improper, so I need to go ahead, divide it to see what the mixed number will be. 2 goes into 21 10 times, which is 20. I have 1 left. My answer is 10 and a half, and that is in simplest form. Let's try the last example together. Number 4. Again, I have 2 mixed numbers. Both of them need to be turned into improper fractions before I do same, change, flip. The checkmark method takes the first one. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 4 is 24 over 5. Divided by, I'm not doing same, change, flip yet, so I'm going to go ahead and write it as division. Checkmark method for the second one. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. The denominator stays the same. This is the new division problem, written with improper fractions. Now I can do same, change, flip. The first fraction stays the same, change the sign, and flip the second fraction. Again, I want to cross cancel if possible. That will help me work with smaller numbers. I'm thinking of 24 and 16. The first fact that comes to mind for 16 is 8 times 2. I'm going to look up 24 and see if either of those numbers are factors of 24, and I'm going to pick the highest one, which is 8. 8 makes 16 and 8 makes 24. So I'm going to divide both of them by 8. This is 2. 16 divided by 8 is 2, so I simplified it to 2. And 24 divided by 8 is 3. So I have simplified 24 and 16 down to 3 and 2. Those are much easier numbers to work with. Now I'm ready to multiply across. I get 9. And 5 times 2 is 10. This one happens to be in simplest form. 9/10 is my final answer. Okay, you're going to try these 4 problems on your own. Notice the first 2 are multiplication. You will turn them into improper fractions if you have to. Cross cancel, and then multiply across. Make sure your answers are in simplest form. On number 3 and 4, they are division problems. You will need to use same, change, flip. Again, you will also need to change mixed numbers to improper fractions. I want you to pause the video, do these in your notes packet, and when you're ready for the answer, push play again. The answers will appear. The answer to number 1 is 16/3, which when you simplify or turn into a mixed number is 5 1/3. Number 2, the correct answer is 77/8. When you divide it to turn it into a mixed number, you get 9 5/8. Number 3, this one was division. You needed to do same, change, flip. You get 10/1. Any whole number, or anything over 1 is a whole number. So the answer is just 10. And number 4, 3/1 is your answer. Again, anything over 1 is a whole number, so the answer is 3.